Hey everybody, this is D Hunter, bringing another action figure review. Today, we're going to look at the McFarlane DC Multiverse, the new Teen Titans Blackfire. Blackfire is Starfire's evil twin sister. I got this figure from the Walmart app last week during the Walmart Collectors Con, so let's take a look at the packaging. As you can see at the top, 22 moving parts. McFarlane Toys Digital, DC Direct, McFarlane Toys, the new Teen Titans Blackfire, ages 14 plus. Here she is in the package. She has 2 energy effects, display stand, collector's card, and digital redemption card. One side of the package, Blackfire from the new Teen Titans. Other side's pretty blank. At the bottom, there's her barcode if it helps. And in the back, here she is posed up from the comics. So with no further ado, let's open her up. Alright. Now that we got this figure out of the package, here she is with all the accessories laid out. We have a display stand, collector's card, digital redemption card, and 2 energy effects for her hands. Before we deload all that, let's talk about and check out this figure. So this is Blackfire. She's the older sister and arch enemy of Starfire. Now, they're from the same family, but Blackfire has been passed on over and over again for succession in the royal family, even though she's the older sister, and that pretty much caused a lot of animosity and pretty much makes Blackfire against Starfire. Her body can absorb ultraviolet radiation and can convert it into destructive and powerful bolts of energy, which she calls black bolts. She has superhuman strength, speed, durability, and they're all pretty similar to Starfire's abilities. This is not the first Blackfire figure that McFarlane has made. It's actually kind of interesting. We have 2 Blackfire figures and only 1 Starfire figure. I believe this one is done on the exact same base body as the last Blackfire, and of course we'll check that out in depth. For now, let's take a look at her, and I will forewarn you, she is really hard to stand up. She's got these high heels, balancing can be quite an issue. Once you get that sweet spot, don't lose it. Now, starting with her face here, she's got the yellow skin. That's the color that pretty much their entire species looks like. Green eyes, red lips, kind of pretty in a weird alien way. She got giant red hair flowing all the way down. Actually, the sculpt is very nice. The paint job makes it look pretty good. Her outfit is very shiny. She got this silver shiny top part, a necklace on, double jointed elbows and knees. This is based off the body that debuted with the Nightfall Catwoman figure. And then the bottom part is also shiny. Kind of makes you think when, like, I don't know, there's gasoline or something on the ground. It kind of has that weird shiny blue and purple kind of look. That's what that reminds me of. Tall boots, double jointed knees, and those difficult to stand heels. And a closer look at her face and head sculpt, which I think looks pretty good. The sculpt, the paint job, the hair, it's all there. Now let's check out her accessories, starting off with the boring stuff. Here's her display stand. 2 McFarlane display stand we've seen plenty of times before. This one says McFarlane Toys Digital because this is a digital figure, meaning you get the figure and you get a digital redemption code. Then we have her collector's card. As you can see, it's an image of Blackfire from the classic Teen Titans. Blackfire. On the back, there is a description. If you want to read that, pause now. And then we have this digital redemption card. McFarlane Toys Digital. On the back, scratch off the code. And personally, I don't see the appeal of these digital figures whatsoever. Now let's check out her energy effects. I guess these are her black bolts. It's really a semi-transparent piece of plastic. This is cast in a purple sort of color. Her hands will go inside, and it's like energy around her fists. Now I know we've seen these things before, probably a few times. She can have her fist up with the energy around it, like she's sort of intimidating or flexing on somebody. Or she can have them on both of her hands, as if she's firing black bolts at somebody. Now to check out the reuse differences and similarities between this Teen Titans version of Blackfire and the Platinum Chase version of the Collector's Edition. And I think I actually prefer the way the Collector's Edition one looks. Feels like it has more of a darker, modern, evil, serious look to her. The old one kind of just screams sort of 80s camp. I mean, it's not really campy, it's not the right word, but I don't know, it has that sort of dated look to it. But I do enjoy having both versions. And I do think it's 100% the same figure, but let's take a closer look. So, starting with their faces, it does look to be exactly the same figure. I believe the little sort of tiara, whatever that thing is just painted on. They have that little gem or whatever in the middle of the chest. Feels like this one's bigger, but it might just be my eyes playing tricks on me. I don't know. The torso is the same. I can see the sort of zipper line that goes up and down the middle from the Catwoman figure. Arms, the same. She even has that sort of tall glove cut here, which is not appropriate to her outfit. The diaper piece is the same. You can see those same sculpted sort of little dots there. The legs, the high boots, the high heels, and the hair, everything is exactly the same. There are now 10 McFarlane DC Multiverse figures that utilize this base body. And the Starfire, Blackfire, and Fire figures, all of those high heels, and I guess actually so do Nightfall Catwoman. And they're hard to stand up, but not like that hard. It didn't take me but a few minutes to set this up. Now that we've taken a pretty good look at both the figure and her accessories, let's check out her height. From bottom to the top of her head, standing about 6.9 inches tall, which could translate to 17.5 centimeters. And for her articulation, starting with her head, it can rotate side to side. Now she has this enormous thing of hair that goes all the way down, almost to her knees. And if you really wanted to, you can get it over her shoulders and rotate all the way around. Now she cannot look up at all because of the hair, but she can look down a pretty good amount. Can tilt her head from one side to the other. Shoulders on a ball joint, goes out 90 degrees. Up, down, around. She's got this butterfly ring between her shoulder and chest, although mine doesn't really seem to have any give. There's a little bit there. Bicep cut hidden very nicely with the glove. Double jointed elbows. Her wrist can rotate. It's hinged. Ball joint her torso. Rotate around. Forward and back. Another one in her waist. Rotate around. Forward and back. Between the two, good range of motion. You get more out of the waist and the torso in her. Legs, complete of splits. McFarlane style hip joints. Rotation is non-existent. Legs go forward, about that far. Back, not at all. Double jointed knees. And then our ankle. Forward and back. Rotate. Tilt, rock, at least sort of. And toe articulation. Here's a look at Blackfire hovering in the sky with their black bolts. Now let's check her out next to some of their action figures, starting off with some of their Starfire and Blackfire figures. Here are the two versions of Blackfire that McFarlane has made. We have the digital version and the collector's edition version. I look at the digital version as a classic version of Blackfire, and the collector's version, Platinum, as a modern version. And then DC Direct also made a Blackfire figure many years ago. And here she is, next to Starfire, her younger sister. And now, next to a DC Direct Starfire. And next, with a Mattel Starfire figure, here's Blackfire, next to McFarlane's modern Teen Titans team. She is from the Teen Titans comics and often fights them. We have Donna Troy, Cyborg, Nightwing, Blackfire, Starfire, Beast Boy, Arsenal, and Raven. Blackfire was even a member of the Red Hood and the Outlaws for a brief period of time. Here's Blackfire, next to the rest of her wave. This is the 5th digital wave. Bronze Age Red Tornado, the new Teen Titans Blackfire, and DC Classics Batgirl. And here, next to the previous digital wave, both the regular and platinum versions of the No Man's Land Batman, Monarch, Disco Nightwing, and Spoiler. Next, with the digital wave before that, this is the 3rd digital wave. Both the regular and platinum chase variants of Two-Face and Dr. Fate, and the Silver Age Superman. Now let's check her out next to some other recently released McFarlane DC Multiverse figures. Here she is, next to some recent Mega figures, Failsafe, and Glow-in-the-Dark Bane. Here's Blackfire, next to the Batman Returns wave, Batman, Catwoman, Max Schreck, a couple of versions of Penguin and his Penguin Commandos. And here she is, next to the most recent Batman wave. Earth 2 Batman, Batman Incorporated Batman, Black Mask's Batman, Hush Riddler, and the DC Classics Scarecrow and Batgirl. Then, next to the pink and rainbow Batman figures. And now, with some recent paint variants. We have the cover recreation, Emerald Twilight Green Lantern, Black and White Accent, Flashpoint Batman, and the Jokerized and Nightmare Superman figures. Here's Blackfire, next to the Atom Smasher vs. Spectre 2-pack. And here she is, next to the most recent wave of McFarlane Collector's Edition figures. We have Batman with a Mobius chair, and both the regular and platinum versions of Dr. Midnight. I am on the hunt for the platinum version of Batman with a Mobius chair, and while we're on the subject, I'm also on the hunt for the San Diego Comic-Con exclusive Collector's Edition, both regular and platinum Beast Boy, and the Superpowers Wave 4 Walmart exclusive Black Manta. If anybody has some information for me, can point me in the right direction, or can possibly help me out, please drop me a line in the comments below. It is much appreciated. Then, with the most recent wave of Page Punchers, Zero Hour Superman, and Crisis on Infinite Earth's Joker. I'm still in the hunt for Extant and Cheetah. Hopefully I'll find them soon. And now, with the Ben Affleck Batman that came with the Bat-Cycle, and the Rebirth Batman 2.0, and finally, with a Red Platinum Guardian and Dark Flash. Now let's check her out, next to some action figures from different various companies, so we can see how she fits in both scale and style-wise, in case you want to know which lines you can mix her with. Since she's a McFarlane toy, they are typically the 7-inch scale. I'm going to start off my comparisons with some of the larger action figure lines I collect, and then work my way smaller. But first, let's check her out with some of her McFarlane Toys brothers and sisters. In front of you are 5 different action figures, all from McFarlane Toys, all 7-inch scale. And now, with some Jack-specific wrestling figures and Diamond Select toys, here's Blackfire next to a hammer. And here she is, with some DC Direct and NECA figures. Then, with both some Mattel and Jazzwares wrestling figures. And now, with some Mezco and Mattel DC figures. Next, with some Mafex and Hasbro Marvel Legends. And finally, with some SH Figure Arts and Jazzwares Fortnite figures. So overall, it's a nice Blackfire figure. But I must admit, I prefer the Collector's Edition version, even though I feel like they kind of half-assed that one by just repainting Starfire. But if that's the case, then they half-assed this one by doing the exact same thing, in only less desirable color scheme. Now it all just depends on your exposure and familiarity to Blackfire, what you grew up with, which version you prefer. And I just think the other one looks a little better, more modern version. Now the biggest issue with this figure is the fact that it's kind of difficult to stand her up. This base body with the high heels on the bottom, the Nightfall Catwoman, is probably the hardest McFarlane DC Multiverse figure to stand up. Typically they're pretty easy, but this one is a pain in the ass. And then her energy effects, just don't think they look that good, not very impressed with them. Her sculpt and paint job, actually the face sculpt is fantastic. The paint job is excellent to match. The paint job on her outfit, very shiny, visually interesting, catching, but like I said, I prefer the other version. If I had to rate this figure, I'd probably give her like a, 6 out of 10, 6.5. Not a bad figure. I'll give her a 6.5. She looks good. The outfit's visually catching, but I just think the other one is a cooler design for Blackfire. So this is D Hunter. Thank you for watching this video. If you liked the video, press like below. If you have anything you want to say about the video, add to the comment section. If you want to see additional action figure reviews from me, press subscribe. I do appreciate you do that. Once again, this is D Hunter. Thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you guys real soon.